Don't you want people in society? Do you not want them, even if they're wrong? Do you not want people to say, wait a minute, we have to rethink? Shouldn't we always be rethinking things? Even if the herd is right, isn't it good to have somebody outside the herd? Hasn't most good happened from people outside of the herd? Moral good, scientific good. The people, now a lot of people outside the herd are cuckoo. I fully acknowledge that. But the people cited in the New York Times piece were not cuckoo. I remember when George W. Bush was president. Do you remember how many bumper stickers we saw? Dissent is patriotic. Do you know that there were no such bumper stickers when Barack Obama was elected? Dissent is only patriotic if you dissent from a Republican. It's so transparent. Dissent is now regarded as absurd. Deniers. The left has always had that. There's always been a label for people with whom they differ. I wonder how this will play out later on the overreaction with regard to global warming. Because that's the big enchilada to engage in cultural appropriation here for a moment. That's the big one. So I've asked a question in my piece this week. I would love to have an answer. If there's a Democratic president and a Democratic Congress, why will they not declare a state of emergency over global warming? They believe that is more dangerous than this. It makes no sense, correct? If we can shut down the economy of America for a virus that has killed thus far, what is the latest number in the United States killed? It was 140 something yesterday when I went to bed.
Yeah, I don't think it hasn't changed.
It's still in the 140s?
Yeah.
Okay. 140. Does anybody ask how come it hasn't killed more? Well, how often have you read we're 2 weeks behind Italy? By the way, even Italy, I mean, we're not talking about millions or hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands.
150 is the new total.
150. Okay, so it's very slow growth.
32 additional last 24 hours.
32 additional deaths?
In the U.S.
Right, but that's not, we're not talking exponential. It should be double of yesterday. That's exponential. How many people died in Italy? Could you check them? And by the way, you know what is never told? How many of the people who died in Italy were Chinese? I wrote about this. The Wall Street Journal wrote about Iran's connections to China. Everybody with massive connections, well, not everybody, but those who have the epidemic most had vast connections with China. It is time to produce as much as possible in the United States of America, especially drugs. A deal with the devil was made in having so much made in China. My heart breaks for people I know who do business there. I hope you will simply, and it's not simply is not accurate. I hope you will be able to produce in Vietnam. It's also a communist-led country, but they're not a threat. You know how many Vietnamese died to protect the Stalinist regime of Ho Chi Minh? When I went to Vietnam a few years ago, I came back angry. This is such an industrious people. They're so lively and they were so suppressed by the utter and total unambiguous evil of communism. Communism is one of those things that reinforce one's belief that human beings are not basically good. Anyway, thus far, it looks like they may have a cure. 1-8-Prager-776. More on this, more on it all on the Dennis Prager Show.